Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it looks like Joe Indoso over at Link2 is going to be interviewing Jack McDonald, the CEO of PolySign. Says PolySign swiftly becoming the foundation that underpins the management and safekeeping of assets for institutions. I think PolySign is going to be a huge part of this whole industry. Now, that'll be on February 17th. And just a reminder that as we go, we're literally in the last 45 days of the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Link2 is one of my sponsors. They do have some Ripple equity left. Want to remind everybody there's Ripple equity left, and there's also XRP left on Uphold. I'm actually thinking about going in and buying some more XRP. Because nobody knows when that lawsuit comes out. Nobody knows where the exactly where all this is going to go. But what we do know, this is from Jeremy Hogan, is that we're in a 45-day window where this case, the SEC/Ethereum versus Ripple/XRP case, is going to end. Look at this. We've got ourselves a poll that was run, and it didn't surprise me. You know, in this space, there's always this assumption that it's Bitcoin, and it's just not so. The smartest people in this game are in this community. And it wins. This guy's not like an XRP maxi or anything. Biggest blockchain community on Twitter today, 31.6%. That is not an accident, folks. It's because we know it was never Bitcoin. Now, I love to, right now, as this case winds down, I love reminding everybody, this was all done intentionally and by design. This clip you're about to watch in late 2017, early 2018, there was no cryptocurrency that did better than XRP. None. Okay? It jumped Ethereum. You'll hear in this clip. There was none. It eventually would have jumped Bitcoin because Bitcoin proof of work doesn't work, folks, and never has. It was gonna. There's a reason that all these people and all these forces went in motion to slow Ripple down, SEC through regulatory capture. But remember, this video you're about to watch was recorded on the 5th of January 2018. 20 days later, just to remind everybody, 20 days later, Jay Clayton meets over at Andreessen Horowitz and puts in motion what will become the Bitcoin Ethereum free pass. And this is what crypto has existed underneath ever since then. Doesn't matter what Gary Gensler is saying now about Ethereum. He still hasn't done anything. To this day, the only quasi-regulation or appearance of regulation or appearance of guidance that there has been is that Bill Hinman speech. And the entire crypto market as we sit here today has been formed around that. And that's the fact, Jack. That was regulatory capture against Ripple by design by these people. And so I asked Congress, and I copied them in on this video, when's the new day coming? Here's the video. Remember, January 5th, 2018.
XRP has soared 38,000%.
And ever since this video, you've been fed a lie. The lie that somehow Bitcoin and Ethereum are superior to all other digital assets. You've been fed that from all angles, from traditional media, from crypto pundits, from this fake lawsuits, from other fake lawsuits. You've been fed a lie. And that is a fact. Now I'll let you watch the video.
XRP has soared 38,000% last year alone. It is now second, as we mentioned, but only to Bitcoin and crypto assets.
Having thoughtful regulation and working with governments. We announced the fact that we're working with the Bank of England as an example. We announced some things we've done with the U.S. Fed and their faster payments task force. We're going to keep working with the system because I think The early days of Bitcoin were all about down with government and down with banks. Ripple has been, look, governments aren't going away, banks aren't going away. Let's work with the system to dramatically improve the way and reduce the friction for how money moves globally.
All right. Then we got this from Mac Attack, XRP price surge ahead. Whales caught moving 440 million XRP. Whale Alert reported that whales moved 440 million XRP, approximately $177 million worth, in multiple transactions over the past 24 hours. Then we have this. Stefan Huber, who's now Mr. Huber, says, and now the SEC is supposed to prove for once that that these were and still are investment contracts. Good luck with that. And I commented on this because what this guy, this Peter Van Valkenburg, I don't remember how to say his last name. Anyway, what he's talking about is when Ripple was sued by FinCEN, okay, and over, which is for potential money laundering type stuff. And I said, to this day, nobody seems interested in whether any money laundering was going on in the Ethereum ICO. I wonder why. Watch this.
Interesting thing that's bothered me for a while. When FinCEN goes after a company like Ripple, and they did go after Ripple, by the way, for selling XRP. Now, Ripple Labs didn't actually develop XRP. It was transferred to them from the original developers of the Ripple protocol. But they own it. They own it as a company, and they are selling it to persons. And FinCEN basically said, without registering with FinCEN, you violated the Bank Secrecy Act. Here's a $700,000 fine. And that's what they leveraged in a settlement agreement. So it wasn't precedential. It didn't actually go to court and test any of these things in a precedential medium, like a case law medium. But there was a settlement agreement that said that this happened. Now, in that case, we have to ask ourselves, okay, so I'm just selling something that I have. Why does that make me a financial institution? Now, if you sold it to a terrorist, I agree. Then we need to say, why did you not think about who you were selling this to? And
nobody knows to this day whether Ethereum ICO, any of it was sold to terrorists. Nobody.
Have any knowledge? If you had any knowledge that that person, and by the way, Ripple did not sell to any terrorists. What I'm saying is that FinCEN goes after you for failing to register as a financial intermediary. They don't necessarily go after you for being a money launderer. And why is that? It's because it's easy to prove guilt that you failed to register and hard to prove knowledge that you were laundering funds or financing terrorism.
Unless you're Charlie Shrum.
No, I mean, it's true. But they charged him for failing to register.
But he admitted an email. I mean, come on.
But that's fine. It's a rule of law matter. If you are worried about money laundering, you charge someone with money laundering. You don't say, oh, you didn't realize you were a financial institution, and so in this case, you can be brought up for failure to comply with the Bank Secrecy Act, which is different than money laundering. Now, Charlie Shrem's case is different because he was running an exchange, which may have been more clearly a financial institution. But if the same thing was to happen in the case of someone just selling a token, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with the result.
So check this out from the official Cool Guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel. Revaluation of currency in Iraq. Panic selling USD as Iraqis get rid of their dollars after Central Bank of Iraq's successful measure to reinstate IQD value. Uh-oh. And then there's this, just in, Super Bowl bans cryptocurrency television commercials. Not the first time that's been done, bans on cryptocurrency commercials. Why didn't they ban Wall Street? This is my question. Why didn't they ban Wall Street ads after Madoff, MF Global, and Enron? It's not about crypto. It's about who controls it, folks. All right, and then this was Representative Stephen F. Lynch, okay? He's talking about China and CBDCs. I'm going to play a little bit of this. Watch.
And I want to thank the ranking member as well, Mrs. Waters, for her work on putting this committee together, this hearing together.
Who wants to thank Ms. Waters? Ms. Waters hadn't done jack squat for crypto.
Members on both sides of the aisle have been keenly interested in the development of a retail central bank digital currency. And China's domestic retail central bank digital currency pilot, known as the ECNY or the digital yuan, has received a lot of focus from Congress recently as a challenge to the primacy of the United States dollar.
While Gary
and also
Gensler
as
sues
a
Ripple.
full-spectrum surveillance tool for the Chinese government. However, usage of the digital yuan has...
While Gary Gensler sues Ripple, and while he's having meetings with George Soros, the woman who is married to the ex-president, and that's lunatic, whack job, one flew over the cuckoo's nest, Nancy Pelosi. That's who Gary Gensler is hiding meetings with, those people, and suing Ripple while Congress is worried about a Chinese CBDC and the digital yuan?
So far remain very low as consumers seem to be sticking with private payments ecosystems, including Alipay and WeChat Pay. There's been
Alipay? Didn't Jay Clayton and Bill Hinman help take Alibaba public?
focus, however, on mBridge, which is the cross-border bank-to-bank wholesale CBDC pilot that's being conducted by 4 countries, including China, which is the lead.
Anyway, I can't stomach any more listening to that. Lack of common sense in our government. Michael Burry has reactivated his Twitter account after saying sell and has now tweeted, "This time is different." Spooky. If you remember, he's the guy that called the financial crisis and bet against real estate, the credit default swaps and all that business. Mason Berzelius, I don't know, I know I'm not saying his name right. Algo Foundation CEO with the woman who is married to the ex-president of the United States, whose name we don't say on this channel. She made the announcement at this event for new Algorand partnership. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. I showed you one of these videos from yesterday. I'm not going to show it again. I don't know where the overlap is, and I don't know which one I showed, but I wanted to make you aware. Tucker Carlson, there was an extra clip with Catherine Austin Fitz, I believe is her name. Very smart woman, very interesting clips. You should go watch it. David Schwartz, this morning, he says, maybe yesterday. What's today's date anyway? Yeah, yesterday. There's a very simple way to tell if something is a security or a commodity. If it gives you rights, it's a security. If it gives you abilities, it's a commodity. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that if it gives you rights, it's a security. If it gives you abilities, it's a commodity. Thanks.